Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Leslie y el día de hoy tenemos como invitado a la Universidad de Newcastle, el representante de la Universidad de Newcastle, Andrew. So Andrew, how many nationalities can we find in Newcastle among the students?
Newcastle University is a very international university, and we have approximately 120 nationalities on campus.
And where is the university located?
Yeah, so Newcastle University the campus is in the city centre of the city, Newcastle upon Tyne. Newcastle is in the northeast of England. It's just about, let's say, it's very close to Scotland. It's about an hour on the train to Scotland and about 2 to 3 hours to London. We're also by the coast as well, so we're on the northeast coast.
How many hours by train from London? Do you know?
So it's just under 3 hours. So it's about 2 hours 50 on the train, or you can fly there, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour to fly to London.
Let's talk about the facilities of the university. So, do you know about the libraries or the labs?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a central library, but we also have, each faculty has its own library and facilities as well. And we have some fantastic facilities available. A couple of examples. So if you're interested in agriculture, we actually manage and run our own farm. So that's something quite special. If you're interested in marine sciences, because we're by the coast, we actually have labs on the beach. We have a lab building on the beach in the coast of Newcastle. Our Faculty of Medical Sciences has some fantastic facilities and is actually based within the hospital. So it's one of those few universities where you're actually studying within a hospital, essentially. So that's something that's quite special. And yeah, we have loads and loads of libraries, and our libraries are open 24/7. It doesn't matter if you're one of those people who does their work in the middle of the night, the library's there for you. So it's always available.
I'm actually quite impressed about the labs near the beach. They're great.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so you can get the metro from Newcastle City Centre to the beach, and it's about 15 to 20 minutes. And we have those facilities, and we have little boats as well, so students go out to sea. So it's really cool.
What would be the most top faculties of the university?
The ones I've mentioned, for example, medical sciences, because we're linked directly with a hospital, and that's the Royal Victoria Infirmary, which is voted recently one of the best hospitals in the world. So that would be definitely one. We are ranked 3rd in the UK for arts. So our arts faculty, art school is very, very popular, very much in high demand. We're also our business school is Triple Crown accredited, which means it's one of the best. Basically, there's only about 110 business schools with those accreditations. So we are amongst the best business schools. So that's also very popular. Agriculture, we're one of the best in the UK for agriculture, and obviously that farm certainly helps. And marine sciences were really good. Another one, I could be here all day, but another one is, so we have our Faculty of Urban Sciences, and in there we have some really cool programs. So we have data science, and we also have game engineering, cybersecurity, so modern, extremely relevant programs that maybe 10 years ago no one would have really known much about. Now these are super important in the world that we're living in today. So we have those programs are particularly popular too.
Is it difficult to get accepted into Newcastle?
Basically, if you meet the requirements and you submit a good personal statement, there should be no reason that you wouldn't get a place unless you've applied very late and there are no places available. So on our website, you can have a look at the requirements. And if you, for example, you go on the entry requirements, you can click, for example, Peru, and it will tell you exactly what we're looking for. Providing you meet the requirements, apply when we still have places. There would be no reason that you wouldn't be accepted. We're public institutions, so we're very fair. So apply on time would be my advice, and have a look at the requirements.
So we're talking about the deadlines. So there is a specific deadline for undergrad or postgrad students?
Yeah, okay, so for undergraduate, the UK EU deadline is in January. However, if you apply after that, you can still apply, but you have to be aware that there may be courses that are already full. For example, architecture fills up very quickly. If you wanted to study medicine, which is extremely competitive, the deadline is October of the year before. So if you wanted to go next year, the deadline's already been for medicine. The deadline was in October. For postgraduate applications, we don't normally have strict deadlines, but if a course gets full, there is not a lot we can do. So it's always good to apply early. And of course, if you're applying for something like Scheveningen or Pronabek, they will ask you to have your offer in place. So maybe our deadlines are not quite as strict, but Scheveningen and Pronabek's deadlines certainly are. So I will reiterate, apply early.
Is there any suggestions for a strong application apart from doing a great personal statement? Is it anything else? Like, I mean, for example, do the students, they have to take a test, or they might get an interview or something like that, or
most programs will not have interviews. Yeah, to be honest, you've answered your own question there. Personal statement is a big one, because a grade on a piece of paper is one thing, and it's important, but we also want to hear about you, who you are as a person. What are your plans for the future? What are you going to bring to the table? Because I always like to say that studying in the UK, it's a melting pot of ideas and cultures. It's not just about coming and watching the profe, taking notes. It's about bringing your ideas. So we have people from 120 different countries, and often your classroom will feel like a UN meeting. So everybody has different ideas because of their backgrounds, because of who they are. And we want to bring you all together. And, so you learn from each other. So what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the classroom to add to the diversity and add to sort of enrich the experience for everyone? So the personal statement is really important. It's not just a sort of longer version of your CV. We do want a bit more information about you. And obviously ask your references to be very nice. Obviously references, we will look at those as well. So it's good to pick someone that can say some really good things about you, someone who knows you well. I think it's important and can say really nice things about you. Those would be my bits of advice.
Yeah, not many people realize how important are the references and the personal statement. Is there any age limit for postgrad students?
No, for undergrad, no. Postgrad, we have no age limits at all.
So now that the PSW is back, so PSW, post-study work visa, does the University of Newcastle help the students to find job after graduation?
Yes, so we have a fantastic career service that can support students up while they're studying with us and up to 3 years after they graduate. And that's exactly one of the things that they're there for, is to help students find a job, whether that's looking for a job or the sort of interview skills, improving your CV, working on your LinkedIn profile. Our service has got 5-star ranking from QS. So our career service is really, really popular and really strong. And I urge any student that is at the university to take advantage, because that's what they're there for. They won't be knocking on your door saying, let me help you. It's important that you go out and you go and get that support. It's there waiting for you.
So does the University of Newcastle offer any scholarship or research funding for PhD students?
Yes, so we have a generic one, which is called the NUORS scheme, which basically gives you a lower fee. It's normally about 50% to 60% of what you would pay. It's normally what we charge UK students. So that's a really good option if you wanted to get a big discount there. And there are certain courses. It very much depends. So I definitely recommend you go on our website and have a look, because there may be some specific funding for specific subject areas, but the NUOS scholarship is for all students at the PhD level.
And do the university help entrepreneurs, like after?
Yeah, we do. Part of our career service, we do have an entrepreneurial support. So if you wanted to set up your own business, you can get guidance and support from the university, and we have had students that I've spoken to in the past that have done that, some from Latin America, and we can help you with the visa as well to get you, because we would act as your sort of sponsor. and we would be able to help you get your visa to stay in the UK and set up your own company.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I don't think I've heard this before from any other uni, and I didn't know. What, I didn't know this. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a really good service.
Yes, it is. I wanted to ask you how, like, is it in general, like they present the project and the university accepts it, like I don't know, something like that, or it's to everyone that would like to have I don't think so, right? It's just...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going to want to be part of the process with you. So you would go to the university, the career service, and say, I want to set up my own company, and they will give you some guidance and some ideas. And then obviously they would need to make a decision as to whether they would sponsor you. Obviously it would depend on the idea that you have, but they're experts in that field. They're experts in startups, so they would give you support and guidance so that when it comes to the visa, they're confident that you're going to be successful.
So how much is the tuition for international students, like more or less?
It's normally between about 18, 19 to about 25, 26. The only exceptions are medicine, and probably the highest would be about 26, which is some medical programs, medical master's programs, and the MBA. But it can very much depend. If it's an art course, it's normally cheaper. It does depend on the kind of work and the kind of facilities that you'll need in order to take, to carry out your degree.
So Newcastle University has any scholarships of their own? So no cheapening, no pronamic, no...
Yeah, so for all students from Latin America, there is a 50% scholarship available. Anyone from Latin America can apply to that scholarship, so half price. So that's a really good deal, and I definitely recommend when you apply, you go for that scholarship. It's not guaranteed, of course. You have to apply and explain why you would be a good candidate. For undergraduate, we have a scholarship worth £4,000 for international students as well.
So, and how many 50% scholarships for Latin American students does the university have? As 1, 2, 5, or?
It's about between 2 and 4, I believe.
It's really good. I mean,
yeah, it is really good. Yeah.
So, is Newcastle an expensive city in comparison to other cities in the north of England?
No, Newcastle is very affordable in all regions. So compared to London, definitely, but also compared to the rest of the UK, the rest of the north of England, it is affordable. It was voted one of the most affordable cities in the UK. Despite living in a beautiful city with so much to see and do, it's not an expensive place to live, and you can live in the city centre. So our campus is in the city centre, and so is our accommodation. So yeah, it's not an expensive place to live, and that's something that I think students should always be aware of. Maybe there's a course down south and it's a few £1,000s cheaper than the course at Newcastle, but you may spend an extra £500 per month on rent, or in food and things like that. So really think about that when you're choosing the course. Don't just look at the course price, look at where you're going to be, because the costs of living vary quite a lot. Yeah, no, Newcastle is famous for that. It is a very affordable place to live. And we have 350,000 people in our city, so it's not a huge city, but still feels like a big city in the sense that it's so much to do. And 60,000 students. So students it's a student city. And one of the reasons it's so popular as a student city is because it is affordable. Because, students want to live somewhere nice and cheap. And Newcastle definitely ticks that box.
So does the university has any family accommodation? I have very few students asking about this, but still there are some people that travel in couples or with kids. So does the university give any support in case of that?
Yeah, let me have a look. So we have our own accommodation, and that is look, we have that almost all of it in the city centre, and we have loads of different options. So we have postgraduate accommodation, so maybe you're in your 30s doing an MBA, and you, surprise, surprise, you don't want to live with loads of 18-year-olds. So you've got postgraduate accommodation. We also have same gender, mixed gender. We have your own bathroom or shared bathroom. We even have catered options. So if you hate cooking, there is an option there for you. So there's a lot of options. I'm just trying to see. I believe there is some links there. I'll have to find that out for you about the living with a family. But I believe there is some links there. And also on online, you'll be able to find families in Newcastle that receive students. Whether or not they're linked to the university is another thing. But there are lots of options there. There are people who have a spare room and they'd be happy for a student to come and live there. And we also have lots of private accommodation. So because it's a student city, because there are 60,000 students living in the city, we have private options as well. Sometimes they may be a little bit more affordable, or if you are looking for a penthouse, we have those too. So, we have loads of options, both private and also owned by the university.
Sure. Yes, I think I formulated the question wrong. So I have few students that they travel with their husband or wife and their kids. So
Yes.
They want to leave the whole family together, because there's some student accommodation that they do not accept the whole family. It's just for 1 or 2 students living together.
Yeah, so we do have, that's no problem. I understand.
That
what
was
you mean
another
now.
question.
Yeah, we have couple accommodation and family accommodation as well. So I think it says with a maximum of 3 children. So if you've got 4 children, we don't have enough space, but we have enough for 3. We have 2 and 3 bedroom properties available, so you would have your own place. And we also have couples accommodation too.
Now that we are in this very surreal situation with all this pandemic and the thing happening all over the world, how's the university dealing with this? Are now all the classes in person? Is a blended mode? There are some classes still online. So how are you guys doing over there in Newcastle?
Yeah, so most of the teaching is in person now, with some exceptions. The idea is that if you were to take ill, God forbid, there are options for you to connect online, but a lot of our courses are being delivered in person. We did ask students this year, not like last year where people would start online. This year we asked students to be here on campus. So it is more of an in-person teaching experience than it is online, but students can join online if they needed to. We have a vaccination bus. So we have a bus that drives into campus and asks your students, have you been vaccinated? If not, here you go. So we're really hoping to get as many. The UK is obviously was quite advanced with the vaccination procedure. Most adults have that now. So yeah, things are definitely looking good, and we have festivals and football games and stuff like that in person without any sana distancia anymore. So yeah, things are certainly going in the right direction over here.
So my last question will be about the entry requirements.
Okay, so the entry requirements, yeah. There's a couple of different options to find out. The first one is if you go onto the university's country page. Now, I'm going to give you an example of Peru. I've just, by the way, on the chat, I've put the bus, the information about the bus, and I'm also putting the Peru country page. So if you were to click on the Peru country page, if you just type in Newcastle Uni Peru or Colombia or wherever it may be, you can do that really easily. And then you can go into entry requirements, and then you can click postgraduate, and it says here, typically we recognize 13 or muy bueno in título de licenciado, or that's a 2-1. So we have 2 grades, we have the 2-1 and the 2-2. 2-1 is our higher grade, and then the 2-2 is slightly lower. So some courses will ask for the 2-1, some will ask for the 2-2. Most ask for the 2-1, which would be a 13 or muy bueno. Or 12 or bueno would be a 2-2. So that's for Peru. Also, if you find the course, so that's one option, go to the country page. Or if you pick a course that you like, go to entry requirements, you can click your country. And when you click on your country, it'll tell you what the requirements are for your specific country.
Okay, perfect.
And if you're from Peru but studied in Colombia, then you would pick Colombia, because we're basing it on the degrees that you would normally get from that country.
Oh, I see. So if they're, for example, I don't know, from Chile, but they study in Europe or USA, they will need to choose USA?
That's right, yeah, because otherwise we'll be asking them for a degree that they didn't study, so we're basing it on, we're assuming that, that, so if that person studied from Peru and went to study in Spain and their bachelor's degree is from Spain, then they click on the Spain requirements because that's, we're basing it on, it's not because they're from Spain, it's because that's how we equate their Spanish degree to our English system.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I will make sure we have that in mind when we do the application.
If you have any students that have moved around, that's good.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Bye.
Okay, thanks very much. Have a good afternoon, good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've never been out of India before. It was my first time out of India. I like the look of the city and the university. The university is very old. It has ancient, good looks, but you get all the facilities here. Employers always take into consideration from which university you've done your master's or bachelor's. If I've done my post-graduation from a very good university, it makes a difference. The amount of knowledge that I have gained here, it's very satisfying. I have friends from South America, from Greece, from Spain, from Russia. It's a really rich mix of people from different nations. It's very nice. You feel like a part of community.
Newcastle is relaxed. It's just calm, which makes living here great. I like art, so I take my time to look at the buildings, the structure of the buildings. If you're someone who likes nature like me, you end up looking at all the flowers and all the beautiful sceneries and then be late for class.
It was the first time I left home and I was really excited, but then again I was a bit tense because I didn't know what to expect. I fell in love with it from the moment I got in. I was just I can't wait to start studying. I just can't wait to start.
The education I've received at Newcastle University, it opens up how you think and how you face issues. It kind of opens up your mind.
Walking across that park, earphones in with a bag full of uni work, it is one of those feelings that really brings you up at the start of the day. I do feel like I'm at a very special place.
Newcastle feels like home to me. It was just the best place for an international student. I didn't want anywhere that was too busy. I wanted something I could easily adapt to.
I love eating, and Newcastle has so many eating joints here, and it's multicultural in true sense.
Living in Fenham is like living in a part of London, vibrant, multicultural, everybody from different backgrounds. There are a lot of shops, African shops, and then it's safe as well.
The location of the university is fantastic. It's right in the centre of town and you can get to everything fairly quickly. You're 5 minutes away from everything.
Tynemouth is my all-time favorite because it's just 10 minutes by metro from my place. Sea gives me kind of peace of mind whenever I go there. I'm sure I made the right choice because I got a job here as well. And getting a job with Siemens, it's like a dream. It's a very important step of my life.
This educational system here makes me more employable. So putting Newcastle University on my CV is that's the guy who went to Newcastle University.
I do not think there's somewhere else I would want to be other than Newcastle.
I think 1 year is very short. I wanted more time here.
I love Newcastle.